goes out, it's terrible.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Maybe turn down the master on your whatever
I don't know what
channel
they
your mic
fucking
is on.
saying. It's ridiculous though. All right. All right. So we hot again.
We're
There
live.
we
Okay,
go.
Liddy.
There we
It's
go.
lit.
I think we are good to go.
Cool,
I think
cool.
everybody sound good.
5 alive.
Five alive. Five alive. All
Five
right.
alive, baby.
Yeah, man. We musicians, you know, but technology ain't always your best friend. We all know that. That's why we show up early
These are
for our gigs.
facts.
For what? For sound checks. Hey, Ron, put some light on you too, man. So,
I'm trying. I'm trying to do the best I can.
all right. So I think we might have our audio stuff figured out right now as we are restreaming to all these different platforms. But if you're now tuning in,
Y'all
ladies
see
and
me? Is
gentlemen,
it better?
welcome back. We had to switch out some sound to make sure everybody sound good and look good. So just like Buck with his nice new haircut, you know. But once again, we're here for another episode. This is episode 10 of the Ship Life. You know, we just been chatting with a bunch of crew members working on board ships, all these different brands. But today we got some guys that are professionals. They work for one of the largest cruise lines in the world as talent on board, you know, between 2 to 6 months at a time. So I want to get Chad back on here again to make sure he introduces himself, that people can actually hear his beautiful voice and match his beautiful hair. Chad, you there?
It really does look like it does look angelic, bro.
And Chad keep freezing up.
You guys are great.
There we go. Chad, you there? Chad.
Oh, he
hear me now?
froze.
We lost Chad. Oh my goodness.
We lost Chad.
Dang.
All right.
I'm the
There we go.
hillbilly.
He's back. He's back. He's not froze up.
I'm here.
We're gonna get
Oh,
Chad some
man.
fast internet. You there, Chad?
That clue.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So introduce yourself one more time, man. Apologies for that.
All good. Here.
What is Chad on? Chad,
I
what
don't
are you
know.
broadcasting on? We lost him. All right, we're gonna
My
get Chad some
iPad.
faster internet.
Oh, he's on his iPad.
Oh, he's on his iPad. We gotta get him some Wi-Fi. All right, so Ron, reintroduce yourself. We're gonna get Chad figured out with his iPad. We're gonna get him some
Okay.
fast Wi-Fi.
Reintroduce myself. All right. Again, my name is Ron. I'm from the Bronx, New York, and I'm currently in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. I've been here since the pandemic hit. Had to relocate due to this whole outbreak, and yeah, I'm here just living for now.
Living.
You know, living
Hey,
down here.
that's all
Yeah,
we can do at this point, man.
yeah,
all we
yeah,
can do.
man, living. That's all you could do.
All right. So what's up, John? How you doing?
Hey, I'm John Baldwin. I've been since the pandemic. I'm still in North Carolina, Virginia, Outer Banks, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Mainly just recording in my studio and picking up about 1 or 2 film gigs every week. That's about all we can do. Hey, there's somebody. Hey, there's 2 Chads.
Look, we got 2 Chads. We got Chad Square now.
Oh, I forgot the mandatory. Now I'm ready. Let's
Oh,
you ready?
God. Did you?
You don't have one with John
really
Baldwin
did that.
Entertainment on it?
I would like to see that actually.
You know you probably got it somewhere.
I know.
I got my own custom ones. I had to, man. All the weddings, people are weird.
Did you see this man's business card when he was on the Sunshine?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, promotion. So what's up, the man with the second best haircut in the group? What's up, Buck?
Yeah.
How you doing?
What's up?
So
I've always said if
man,
you're
let us
gonna-
know where you at right now.
I'm in Blue Ridge, Georgia. That's up in the mountains. I'm about 2.5 hours from Gatlinburg, which is where Chad is right now. But I can be in Tennessee or North Carolina in 10 minutes. I'm right in the corner.
Oh, wow.
So I'm the hillbilly up in the mountains living outside, and I have better internet than Chad does.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works.
Oh
sitting
man,
out here, I'm cleaning my shotgun outside, and it's like my internet's better than everybody's.
You should have heard last week. We had one of the guys in South Africa, so his internet was so spotty, it's like trying to, like, hey, he's like, you put 3 people on here, then I'm done. So,
wow, that's not good.
That's
not good at all.
One of the perks about working on the ship is all the amazing people you meet from all over the world, but trying to time people out, like, so what time zone is it where you at? Like, oh yeah, I'm on, Greenwich Mean Time, so I'm 6 hours, basically ahead of you. So we started last week at 8 p.m. my time, and it was 2 a.m. their time. And by the time we got done, it's 4 a.m. So all right, so we're gonna get down to it. With a lot of people always approach us about entertainment on board, what's some of the requirements? Like, how did you all come about being on the ship? What was you doing before? What was some of the background that you had before even joining the ship? So I know Buck was doing some things. So Buck, what was you doing before you joined the ship, like far as your music career?
Well, I've been playing one way or another for about 20 years. I've been in bands. I had a band for a while there that had a couple of songs on the radio regionally. I play in a lot of corporate bands. I'm near Atlanta, and so there's a big opportunity for a lot of corporate bands. We do a lot of weddings and corporate events and stuff like that. So I've done that forever. But about a year before I joined the ships, I started the music scene around Atlanta really started getting tough as far as a full band goes. Not every place can afford or has the room for a full band. So I started realizing up in the area where I live, there's lots of vineyards and wineries and restaurants and marinas and all these places, and they all do acoustic music, patio music or dinner music. And it's always soloist or duos. And there's just endless supply of work like that. So I teamed up with another buddy of mine that lives up here, Mark, and we formed a duo called Buck and Oz.
Buck and Oz, baby.
Buck and Oz. And so we had been playing for about a year all over here. I mean, like I said, all the restaurants and the vineyards and the marinas, we have plenty of work to do. But I had always thought about and considered doing cruises ever since my first cruise way back in 2000. I thought it was interesting. I thought it would be a good avenue. Plus, I love to travel. I love to be different places. I love islands. I love the ocean. So if I could do both, I could play music and travel and not be on a tour bus and not be sleeping in a van from gig to gig and all the things that we do, it would be better. So actually, it was weird. I have a buddy that's a pretty well-known piano entertainer. His name's Tim Bowie. He's actually in the Guinness World Book of Records for consecutive playing the longest, playing piano. I forgot how many hours it was, but he's down in New Orleans actually.
Cool.
He wrote me and said, "Hey, I'm putting together my second annual piano players and entertainers convention down here in New Orleans, and I think maybe you and Mark should come down here and check it out because I'm going to have a lot of agents and cruise reps and all these different people. We're actually going to do a day of auditions as well as do this convention." So we went down there. We stayed right downtown off of Bourbon Street, and one of the hotels there locally hosted most of the events, but they had guest speakers like Liberty DeVito, who was the drummer for, what's his name?
Billy Joel.
William Joel for years till they fell out, with each other. So he was one of the guest speakers. So got to meet a lot of people, but on this one particular day, they had some auditions, and
nice.
Mark and I just brought our instruments. So we sat in there and did a 3-song audition in front of a room of plenty of people. We actually auditioned in front of Pat George, who has the entertainment agency, and he's out of Massachusetts. And and also David Brady, who's not with the company anymore, but he was currently one of the head guys over the music and entertainment. He was there personally. There was another guy that I can't remember from Carnal. He was there personally, but there were a lot of agents and cruise line reps. So we played, and basically as soon as we got done, we talked to David and Pat, and he said, I'm pretty sure you get me, a good video and get all your info. I can get you on a ship pretty quickly. And he did. That was in April, and we started our first ship in October of that year, which was 2017.
Was we on a Breeze? Was that the Breeze?
It was the Breeze, yeah. Incidentally,
yeah, Breeze.
Yeah.
And we've met a lot of really good people. Like you said, one of the top things are the people that you meet is one of the great things about doing ships. And you've got a lot of kindred spirits, especially musicians and entertainment people. You really meet some great people. And incidentally, A-roc was one of the absolute first guys we met. He was the DJ, the pro DJ on the Breeze, and he quickly became one of our absolute fastest and best friends that we've ever had in this.
That's what's up, man.
He really kind of helped us out and took us in, and it was our first boat, and we didn't have a clue what we were doing as far as the ship goes. We knew how to do our job. But
they had their hats, they had their cowboy hats, and they was ready to go.
We were ready to go. He helped us with videos, and he helped us out a lot. So A-roc was a good guy for us, and he's been a good friend.
So
nice.
So I'm gonna throw it over. I'm gonna throw it over to Chad because we all worked on the same ship, So Chad, how did you get into this industry, for drumming? Because I'm gonna throw it out there. I think Chad was working at Cedar Point at one point. I think he was at Cedar Point a couple years ago. I'm like, you're drumming at Cedar Point right now. And incidentally, Chad is originally from Ohio. So
yeah.
So Chad,
that's right.
Story. So how did you wind up, from Ohio to the cruise ship?
Well,
we keep losing Chad.
It's cool that you mentioned Ohioans, and we ended up on a ship in the islands. I think it was Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
And we were also bunkmates. So that's amazing. We were only a few hours away from each other, but yeah. So it's cool that Cedar Point, because Cedar Point's also in Ohio.
Yeah,
But that's when I started to play. They came to my school at Wright State, where I studied with Professor Jerry, and he helped his students start working, because it wasn't just about being in the practice room, et cetera, but getting them in the field. So Cedar Point was a great opportunity because they have an awesome live entertainment. Lisa Jones, she's been heading it for years, and she just rocks it. And I was there for 2 summers and 2 Halloween seasons. And after that, second year, Carnival came through. And I forget who the rep was. Ron, do you remember?
I think it was, after David Brady was Julian Clarkson.
Oh, okay, Julian.
Yeah,
okay.
Julian. That's right. Yeah, so Julian every month, once a month, I sent an email. I said, "Hey, still here? It's me again. What do you think? Do you have any openings?" And after about 4 months, I think, he said, "Yeah, we do. It's the Ecstasy. You can leave for rehearsal in 5 days. How's that sound?"
That's the Carnival move. Oh yeah.
That's how it works. That's how it works, man.
And so you better be willing to go. You better be able, because that is your opportunity, and you take it. And once you take it and you do a good job, then you're in.
And Carnival's like that. Also, yeah, this just came open. So we're gonna send you a plane. It's like, I swear they already had a plane ticket printed when they call you.
Doesn't it sound like that every time?
Are you available? All right, check your email in 15 minutes.
And you gotta go whether you like it or not. You know,
Right.
you gotta go. Like
Oh,
that's
but I
money
liked
wasted
it.
if you don't go.
Right. So look, we got Chris. Just
Chris Stanley in the house, baby. What up, man? Long time no see, brother.
Yeah, man. Just go ahead and roast me. Sorry for being late.
It's good.
I was tying up a bunch of loose ends with like it's a high point in the season for my day job. So it's just madness.
Is that the yoga job? Because this guy's a certified yoga teacher now.
Yeah. Well, it's not yoga. It's so I'm an educational rep for music and arts. So I work on the school services side.
Yeah.
During the day. And so right now it's rental season. So a lot of things are going on where it's just like, hey, you need to be on this meeting. I'm like, but it's 7:45. And they're like, and?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what we're doing right now, we're just going around, we just did introductions, Chris. Just talking about how we got our start. I'm about to throw it over to John. What I like about this is the fact that I have worked with all of you all, and I think most of us have worked with each other some way or another,
Yeah.
So what's up, John?
Hey.
John. Now, the thing about John is a soloist, and he plays almost everything, including the steel pan, which I discovered with John.
Yep.
So what's up? Look, where you at a music store? You just gonna keep pulling instruments out?
Good Lord.
What's up?
I'll break out the
John,
steel pan.
Tell us how you got your start and about your career, as a musician.
All right. So, I got in with Carnival in 2015, but before that, I'd been a soloist and a band leader for like 15 years. Trying to get the gig with Carnival, I kept sending audition videos through the website and to David Brady, and I kept getting rejections. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll practice, learn more songs, and make another video. So pretty much every 6 months, I would keep making a new medley video. I always do a 5-minute medley of, a bunch of styles of music. Try to do better video cameras, better quality. I must have sent about a half a dozen videos to David Brady and the website. And then finally, right when my ex-wife was separating from me, I finally got an acceptance. Hey, do you want to get on Carnival Fantasy? Like, I can't get on fast enough. And that's where I got it started.
Wow. So how many you sent in? So with 6 months times 6, so almost what, over 2 years?
Over about 3 years, I just kept sending new videos. I don't take no for an answer, and
right.
Clearly, man.
Right. I mean, that's hey, that's what you gotta do. Being a DJ, you always got to figure a way how to keep selling the service. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's so many people in our industry, and the thing is not taking no for an answer. I used to go to clubs and bars and send in demos. I remember the days of submitting mix CDs of my mix, and with like, hey, here's my picture, this is me, that's what I'm doing, and like, nah, sorry, we good. So not taking no is a big thing.
Well, so, I learned in restaurants, when you get a no, come back 3 months later, there's a new manager. So, and the same was kind of happening with Carnival. Every time you'd ask, there'd be a different music supervisor. So just wait for the changing of the guard, and you'll get the job.
So Ron, how did you come into play? How did you?
So before I was working for Carnival, I was a student. I had actually just graduated from college. I think it was 2014, and in 2015, I was with a band that we put together, and we were just doing shows, mainly in BB King's in Times Square.
Oh wow!
Which is no longer there. So we were just like, we was practicing. We did these tribute shows. 3 of them were Stevie Wonder tributes, and then there was our last 2 were Michael Jackson tributes. And we took that time. It was about 7 months, and we did 5 shows in BB King's. We sold out all of them, and so we was doing that. And then I got on Facebook one day, and I'm in this group on Facebook called the Black Surfers Realm. I'm putting them out there because they're a dope group. It's about over 10,000 musicians in this particular group. And I have been in that group for a little while, and I saw this post on there. It was from this guy who happened to work for Carnival Cruise Line. He's a keyboard player, and he was advertising for his agent who hires people for cruise ships, and I needed a job, so I hit him up, and he was like, "You want to work on cruise ships?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And here I am, auditioning, and I got the job a week later after I posted my stuff on YouTube. I got the job the next week, and
when was
my
this?
first.
When was this?
This was October 2015. I got my contract the week after I got hired, and then I started on the ship January 2016. So I was in rehearsals that last part of the year rather. And
look who it is! Oh my goodness! Look who
is that Julian? Oh,
don't talk about him. He's here now. Don't say anything. He's here now.
We talked.
Let's not talk about him. Let's not talk about him.
No. We talked so much smack.
Oh no, he's in the group, right?
What? How's everybody doing?
Hey.
Oh man, what's going on?
Oh,
Good to see you, bro.
Just, running late as per usual.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, Julian, thanks for joining on time.
Dead.
We already ran around and gave everybody special introduction, and we all collected money and everybody already split it already. So sorry you missed with the pot. Maybe next time. But we're going around, we're doing introductions, how we wound up with the company. Ron was just talking about how he got started. But we're gonna throw it over to Chris because it's amazing because so much talent is on board and people really don't get the time to interact. And then you meet, of course, we all meet guests to say, man, I play the trumpet, or I play the drums, or I play the guitar. It's like, oh, really? But can you play it 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, 6 months?
Right.
Right. And everybody kind of, right. That's all, oh, really? So, so I'm going to throw it over to the trumpet man, because me and him work together too.
Yeah, man.
So introduce yourself, Chris. Where you at? What you doing? How'd you wind up with the company?
Well, my name's Chris Stanley. Right now I'm currently in Atlanta, just doing the thing and just making everything work as much as possible with all this craziness going on. And I first got with Carnival around the fall of 2014. And how that happened was surprisingly straightforward. I spent the summer kind of just working on my stuff. And then one of my friends from grad school just gave me a suggestion to, he was like, yeah, hit up David Brady, because that's when he was still in office at the time, and just see what's going on. And I happened to contact David Brady and send him my resume and demos right as a trumpet player was quitting a contract early. And nice. David Brady, he heard my demos and he's just like, hey, I got a test for you. Can we do a Skype call like in a week? And I was like, cool. And so he sent me this massive folder of music. And he said, okay, I want you to learn as much as you can in a week. And in a week, I'm just going to just pull a number out of a hat and you're just going to play the excerpt. So there were,
about right.
Yeah. So on the music, there was no tempos, there was no nothing. It was just cool. Some of it I recognized, some of it I didn't. So I just didn't know anything about what was going to happen. So yeah, week came, he pulled stuff out of a hat live, but he also had me record at the same time on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Just to keep me from cheating. So yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We got people tuning in right now. So if you just now getting here, like Julian, we are chatting.
You're never gonna hear the end of it, bro.
We're chatting live with some wonderful musicians right now, talking about life working on the cruise ship and how they got there, where they was before, where they at now. But if you ever want to know what it's like or how to get a job in the cruise industry, this is the video you want to stay tuned to, because we're going to throw it over to a guy real quick who was doing a lot of the hiring at one point for CCL. So I'm throwing it over to Mr. On Time himself, Julian. What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you very much. How's everybody doing? Doing well?
Hey.
What's
Good.
up, man?
So, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
So introduce yourself. If you
Introduce yourself. That was a question.
God. That ain't even a question. Like, all right, so give it, because I know you got to run. So
no, it was introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself and let us know, like, how did you wind up, with Carnival and especially the position that you wind up in at one point.
Okay, sure enough. So, hi, I'm Julian. I originally came to the Carnival team in January of 2012, and that was a very random situation how that happened in the first place. Really, the only reason that I even found out about the whole opportunity was because I was running late to a class my last semester of college, and and on the outside of
it's a common theme.
On a flyer for an agent auditions for cruise ships, and I was graduating a semester early in a winter semester, and they required that you needed to have a minimum of 6 months available, over 21, and able to get a passport and pass a medical. So I was like, you know what? I don't have anything planned for the spring semester. Let me just go ahead and try this audition and see what happens. So I graduated in December of 2011, did the audition like a couple of weeks before graduating. 3 weeks into the year, I got a call from this specific agency, and they sent me to Carnival Fantasy 2 weeks later. It was a super fast turnaround, and that was back when the traditional show bands were still on pretty much every ship. I was a lone sax player on the Carnival Fantasy, which is unfortunately being dismantled in Turkey right now. Very sad about that, honestly. And then, so the intention was really only to do one contract, but in the context of doing this specific 6-month contract, I kind of fell in love with being at sea. And in the towards the second half of that contract, I decided to, instead of going to grad school like the original plan was, I decided to take on another contract because, to be completely honest, the itinerary of the Fantasy was incredibly boring. It was Freeport and Nassau, Bahamas. And I was like, you know what? I know that ships go.
I mean, it's good burgers.
Yeah, right. but I check out some other, what other places I can get to. Then 2 months off, got sent to Carnival Legend, which was the ship where everything changed, honestly. For starters, it was a great itinerary. We were doing 4 port days in a 7-day itinerary, just day in and day out. And within the first 3
weeks, Julian, was Legend in Australia at the time?
No. This was well before that. Like Spirit was in Australia at that time.
Okay.
But Legend was based out of Tampa. We did a 7-day that was on a Western Caribbean run with Cozumel, Belize, Roatan, and Grand Cayman. Also my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Right, though. And then within 3 weeks on board, our music director got sent home for like emergency medical leave. And I got like promoted to acting music director for a couple weeks. And then the music director never came back. And then so like I got promoted to full music director about 3 months in, like right before the holidays and whatnot. And then my contract was only supposed to go until about, whatever 6 months was from August. So maybe like February or something like that. And then the incoming music director got indefinitely delayed. So I was still on board for like 8 months, and the ship had just got to go to Europe. And so at that point, I'm like, holy shit, that'd be super awesome to extend. But at this point, like the office has already been casting specific people to join the ship, to take the ship over to Europe and back on these like really interesting itineraries. And the incoming music director, again, got delayed and delayed and delayed again, to the point where they sent me on a 1-week work break and then back to do a double contract. And so I ended up taking the Legend to Europe, did a full, we got there in late April, I think, if I'm not mistaken. We did a full, like another 6 months in Europe and then back. So 2 transatlantics, 32 countries, like 29 different fly-on shows. It was a super, super amazing.
Anybody else get this opportunity in the group?
No. I almost did.
Well, it was a very unusual opportunity. And honestly, like I kind of never heard the end of it when it was happening, because all the people on board, they're like, oh, well, you know what? My boyfriend's supposed to come and replace you. Or, you know what? Like, you're only going to be here for a couple weeks. And blah, blah.
Wow.
Oh, literally. And then like, I when that chit chat themselves and talking up a storm and whatnot, then like 14 months later, I completed a double contract on the Legend and then getting ready to go to Alaska on the Miracle. So a couple ships later, well, actually after the Miracle on Alaska, which was my next contract, I started coming into the office for, wait, actually, let's start back. Do you guys remember the 2013, that year that polar vortexes became a thing, where like we had highs of -40 in Minnesota and whatnot? Yeah. So like I'm from Minnesota originally. And so I got off the Legend. I was like, hey, let me take a 3.5-month vacation since I just did 14 months on board. And soon enough, I get back in the middle of this polar vortex crap. And I'm like, okay, this was really a mistake. I called up Brady and I was like, send me anywhere. I cannot do this. I'm literally freezing my ass off. This is just not okay. So he actually brought me into the office to help with some special projects. And it was actually the unveiling of the new Audition Program, which previously in for a lot of the cruise industries, a lot of people had been doing Skype interviews or like cell phone interviews or auditions. And David Brady brought me into the office to pioneer this new thing called HireView, which was a digital interview software, but we were making a special use case for audition because with the which we were hiring and needed to maintain a talent pool was just getting to a point where it was not possible the way that it was like years ago with fewer ships. And so we had to find a way to scale that. And so I started working on that special project between ships. And then a couple of contracts went back and forth ships and the office and just continued working on special projects, continued to build up rapport. And then end of 2015, after I just finished out of Galveston. Yeah, the Magic out of Galveston. I came for another special project in the office. And then at that point, Brady had promoted to which was manager of music direction. So then the casting supervisor position that he was in before went vacant. And then 2 weeks prior to that, also the entertainment technician casting special vacant.
Man, you just keep falling into
It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Opportunities like everything's like, so this person didn't make it, and then this opened up, and then this opened up, and this opened up.
Really interesting succession, honestly. But like that last time in the office, so I got called in to cover the entertainment technician specialist position. I got called like the day after Christensen was like, we need you ASAP. And so I was like, okay, fine. So then I started working with that, and then David's position went vacant. So then I literally was doing double specialist temporary job for about 6 weeks. And then they put the position online to actually apply for it. And not kind of pressured to apply for it, but I was happy that I did. So then in February 16, did the interview in March 7th, specifically 2016. I accepted the casting supervisor position for the musician. And then from that, it was just a matter of continuing to catch up. Like, honestly, in a lot of the positions I've been in, I've been kind of working for like those issues. It was never directly the intent to like positions. I was always like, and stepped up or then and just kind of fell permanently. Same thing with this one, even though it went vacant and then I finally actually got it for real. I had to do a lot of backtracking and fill in the gaps with a lot of knowledge as far as things that related to like hiring in international waters, updating a lot of systems. I eventually introduced a new system with Airtable, which is a cloud-based database that, for me and my workload, made everything.
So hold up. So all this is in a matter of what time? Like 3 years, basically?
Well,
so all the change-ups.
It was January 2012 when I was on my first ship as a show band musician. As music director, September of 2012, that same year. So that's still within the first year. By the second year, already 32 countries deep. By the end of the fourth year, promoted to casting supervisor.
Wow. So, a lot of stuff you talked about is most of the things that we all experience as entertainers, especially like Airtable and ship contracts and everything else. So,
what
time for that first contract, what was your, how did you feel when you got that phone call to go to the ship, and like, what was that that day one experience like going to the ship?
Oh my God.
Ron, how was your first day going to the ship, going from
Oh
doing
man,
tours and everything else?
I, you asking me?
Yeah. How was
Oh,
that
me.
first
All
day?
right. Well, I hadn't really seen a bigger ship except the Staten Island ferry. So looking at looking at the cruise ship, my first ship was the Carnival Sunshine, and it was relatively new at the time. And I was looking at it like, this thing is massive, not knowing that the Carnival Breeze was even bigger. Okay, so right.
Yep.
I didn't know that. But I'm just looking at this first ship like, wow, it was coming out of Port Canaveral. I remember that. It was coming out of Port Canaveral. And I was looking at things like, is this ship ending? Wow, look at that. It's still going. It's still going up. It's still going this way. You know, the ship was massive to me. The second day, I was like, okay, I'm on a ship. It's a lot of movement. I'm going to get sick. You know, but yeah, that first day looking at it, I was wide-eyed, just wow, this is the life right now. Cool. All right, you know, it was nice. It was big adrenaline rush because I was ready to play at that time, and I was ready to play that night.
Wow. First day on the ship. So, all right, John, first day on the ship. What was, because I know I'm gonna say Buck for last because I know his first day was probably wow. First day on the ship. All that you did to get on board. What was your first day like going to the ship?
Nobody knew where I was supposed to go or what. I was carrying a heavy ass steel drum and suitcase and pedals. I was carrying so much stuff up 10 flights and down 10 flights. I never knew that I could have just left it on deck 0. It just,
wow.
It was a frustrating process of never asking the right question to the right person. Right. But then once I settled in, I loved it. And as soon as my gig was over, you know me, I spent all night watching the other bands and the nightclub band and the DJ and the comedy club. I loved the fact that all of a sudden I'm on this, you know, sailing nightclub. I loved it.
Right. 24-hour entertainment. So yeah. Chad, what was your first day experience like getting on board the ship? As you know, you came in as the drummer, right? You came in hired on strictly for drumming, correct? Did we lose
That's
Chad?
right. Yeah.
Here we go.
Tracks. No, I'm here.
All right.
You got me?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, drumming. What was the first day like? I had a great MD because I was in the band. So it was Danny Warner. He was on guitar.
Yeah, man.
And oh yeah, he's the best.
He's the best.
Love that guy.
So what was your first day like getting on board? Like, was you lost? Did you know what was going on? Did you had to go straight with the band? What was the first day?
Well, probably the biggest thing about it was understanding how the ship is, what the levels mean. So I think on fantasy, that was where like everything happened. That was the crew lounge, the crew cafeteria, stuff like that. And then from and I think like so that was probably the biggest learning curve, was just where everything's at. There's aft, there's mid, there's port, stuff like that. It wasn't too crazy. It was just, you know, kind of let it wash over you, learn as much as you can, have fun, and just be ready for the gig that night.
Yeah.
Get on board, and first night you're already working. You're ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Man, it wasted no time. No time.
So Buck, you know, Darren, so you go on board as a duo. Your first contract as a duo on board, you know, what was that feeling like? You guys in Georgia and this internet connection is killing me.
I think I'm good.
There you go.
Well, I mean, as far as doing the job, as far as once you got in place and being on stage and doing what you're actually hired to do, that was easy because that's what we do every day anyway. That's what Mark and I did. So putting this on a stage in a restaurant or in the atrium or whatever, you know, it's everyday stuff to us. But like Chad said, the hard part was getting on and learning that you're on this floating city or a mall or however you want to look at it, and learning how to not be lost was the biggest challenge for probably the first 3 or 4 days. Just how to get around and how to navigate, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'd say the first week, I spent a lot of time. Did I lose you?
No, you still there. You there?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say the first week, the first 4 to 5 days, I spent a lot of time saying 2 things. What the hell have I done? And number 2, they never told us anything about this until now.
Oh man.
Oh,
I mean, even the thing about even the medical. I mean, we were hired, contracted, already had a contract, already booked to get on the ship, already had everything lined up. When we found out the medical thing was pretty much sprung on us, I think 3 weeks before we were getting on the ship. They kind of failed to tell you about all that stuff in the process.
Whoops.
And so I was like, "What are you talking about, medical? What do you mean?" And they notified us of this.
One of the Fun Squad talked about her first contract not arriving with her medical.
Yeah.
she arrived to the ship with no medical.
Yeah. Well, we got it done barely. I mean, you know, the whole process is pretty lengthy because you have to go to different doctors and get different tests done, and it wasn't fast. And I was like, "Wow, you guys could have told us this 6 months ago, and I would have had it ready." You know.
Yeah.
And then
$250.
I think, if I remember, is Julian still
Blood
here?
money, bro. Blood money.
Yeah, Julian's still on.
If I recall correctly, the day we were going to get on the ship was a Saturday in Galveston. And we did not have absolute definite confirmation that our medicals were accepted and that we could go to get on. We didn't get confirmation. I think it was from Julian that we were hearing from until about noon on the Saturday before we were supposed to join the ship the next day. So we didn't have time to get plane tickets and fly anywhere. We got in the truck and we drove from Blue Ridge, Georgia to Galveston, Texas.
Oh,
Wow.
And got there about 3 o'clock in the morning Saturday night. And we got on the ship the next day.
You didn't get the one day before you go phone call, say, "Hey, this contract's open. When? Tomorrow. Your plane ticket's in your email."
Well, so it was a big delay, but it was the main part was we'd gone through a lot of the process and didn't hear about the medical till then. And we got that handled. So we got on, it was okay. And then just some of the trainings and some of the rules and some of the things that you're required to do, you know, now that you've been there and done it, you understand why you're required to do and know some of these things. But when you first get on, you know, you'd never been told about this stuff. And so, you know, you're going to play music and travel and get off and see the islands and do this. And then they hit you with Port Manning and all this other stuff. And you're like, nobody mentioned
Look
this.
At John. Don't get John started on Port Manning. Don't.
Oh, hey, look, Port Manning is the bane of my existence on ships. If there's anything I would be willing to pay money to get out of, it's Port Manning. I'm
gonna send you a shirt to say I love Port Manning for Christmas.
Oh,
you and John, I'm gonna get 2-for-1.
Man.
You guys. So
once you
Chris,
get
what's that?
No, I was gonna say once you get accustomed to it and you learn the lay of the land and how everything works and it balances out, and you know things are okay after that.
So once again, if you're just now tuning in, we are talking to some wonderful musicians talking about life working on a cruise ship. We got some drummers, soloists, trumpet players, all around musicians, DJs, and more. But we're gonna throw it over to Chris because I met Chris, I think might have been my second contract. But Chris, were you with the band the first contract and came back with the trio? How did that work? Unmute yourself. Unmute.
This is Carnival Magic, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So my first contract was half of someone else's on Carnival Magic. And so my onboarding was honestly pretty chill because I didn't come on with the band. I just came on with a bunch of bartenders and wait staff. I mean, it wasn't many of us. It was probably like 25 people. And yeah, I mean, backtrack, like I never told this story to anyone. So like after my audition got accepted and David Brady was like, cool, can you be on the ship in like 2 weeks? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, cool. We need to get your medical done as fast as possible. He sent me all that. And he was like, you have your passport, right? And I went, yeah. I lied. I have a passport. I went to the closest embassy and I filled out all the paperwork ahead of time. And I pulled the life or death clause. And I was like, hey, if I don't get this passport, I won't be able to pay my bills. And I had a passport in like 24 hours. So If you ever need a passport, just pull the life and death clause for your job.
But everybody like,
wow. Duly noted.
Yeah. So yeah, I never told anyone that story, but I lied to David Brady about a lot of shit.
He's not gonna watch this.
I mean, if he does, whatever. What is he gonna do? Fire me? Like
somebody's sharing it with him right now.
Somebody's talking to him right. Yo, Dave, check this out, bro.
Like, hey, Dave,
sorry, Dave.
Came up 12 times.
Nah.
I can see him now. I knew it.
Nah, he took care of me. I had everything on time, so it technically doesn't matter.
Right.
But yeah, like with coming into as a band, then coming back to certain things as a horn trio, for me, it wasn't really a big change other than I had to learn how to do like 4 things at the same time, which was I played, guitar players and soloists, most of you use loopers or loop stations or something like a multi-stomp box. Yeah. So I had to learn how to do that for horn trio. And once I got the hang of it,
you was the guy?
It was like second nature. The hard part for me was I'm pretty short with just like, okay, do y'all get this? And if the answer is yes, cool. If the answer is no, then we'll do it again. And the thing is, a horn trio leader is I had a really short patience with someone telling me yes, they understand something, then screwing it up later. Yeah. Because when you screw something up in the horn trio stuff, the entire thing can break down. Mm-hmm. And so I was lucky enough to have Steven Zamonski and Rob as well. And they both practiced whatever they just didn't get. And so really only one set after a contract, I laid into them. Like, because we were doing so well, the set just broke down because somebody didn't write down a note they were supposed to write down like 3 months ago. And I just laid into them completely. Then I bought them beers that night because it's just like, it's not that serious, but
right.
That was like the whole thing about leading the horn trio is the fact that there's a management aspect of it that it just, if you're with a horn trio that just doesn't work on their stuff in their solo time, it's going to be a real frustrating contract. And I was lucky to not have that because both of those guys really worked on their stuff like in the off time. And that's all that I asked them for. It was just like, hey, if you don't get something, just bug the absolute hell out of me. Like, what am I doing? Like, when you're not working, guess what I'm doing? I'm not working either. So yeah, like, and you know where to find me. I'm either in like the fire escape hallway practicing, or I'm in the room doing, playing my illegal video game machine, like play Super Mario and stuff like that.
Well, I tell you one thing, what I really like about doing this is chatting with all the wonderful people from entertainment especially from all over the world. But telling the side that we don't get to talk about on, on board is actually what we do and how we got there. That's always the question. How did you get here?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if someone approached you tomorrow and say, man, what do I need or what should I know to get a job on a ship as a musician? And I'm gonna throw it out real quick. If you just now tuning in, we're talking to some wonderful musicians. We're talking about working life on a cruise ship, working as live entertainment. All you all still work with students, the college background, doing live entertainment. When it all resumes, what's something that you would recommend to somebody, John? If somebody came to you, John, and say, how can I get on a cruise ship? What should I know when interviewing? What would be like one of the first things?
You got to know hundreds and hundreds of songs. You got to have hundreds and hundreds of lyrics on your iPad, but you also got to know hundreds of songs by heart. You got to know dozens of musical genres. Before you try the cruise ship, try a theme park. Go to your closest theme park that's hiring music. A theme park is the closest on land you can get to the cruise ship the logistical and managerial experience that you'll get on a cruise ship. I'd suggest start there.
And the variety is huge, So Ron, drummer, far as being in a group on board, what if somebody say, because explain, who want to explain the build a band process? Julian, Ron, Chad. Well, Chad. Right.
I mean,
so build a band, Julian.
Yeah, that's all you, baby.
Kind of started in one place and kind of evolved into something else. So right about the time when I started transitioning into the office, / a little bit before that, the thing that had been happening in the casting process was that whenever there were new ships coming out, the tendency would be that they would pick their music directors first, and then, and when I say they, the office would pick the music directors for those ships first, and then the music directors would be able to input who they wanted to be in their team work on board to take their inaugural runs. So it kind of started as this very informal process, but as I started moving into the office, it started becoming a little bit more, more of an actual documented process. And towards it, what it really came down to was there would be the way that we casted the ships as a whole shifted from an individual model where people would just go like, this person goes to this ship, this person goes to that ship, which that model still exists for like individuals, like soloists and duos and trios and whatnot. But when it came to the bands themselves, this was starting to take right about 2013 into 2014. That's when they started introducing the rehearsal process, which has seen a little bit of an evolution. It used to be a third-party studio that we rented out, then to an upgraded studio, then to Carnival Studios. And in that process, we had to realign the schedules for the ships as a whole so that you could only have a certain amount of ships rehearsing at a certain time, a certain amount of turnover a month, as well as placing the right people with the right groups and with the right demographics. So that applies.
So real quick with the process, so you're taking people from all over the world and basically making one sound. So it won't be like.
Sorry, you cut out. What's that last part you said after one sound?
And how long do they have to actual practice together before they go into the ship? Yeah.
So it started out kind of as a bit of a cookie cutter process. Originally, it was kind of just a set thing where it was it was a band, which would be basically a traditional show band that had one vocalist or did the traditional production shows. Those typically were 7 to 10 days of rehearsal. And then the rock band, which was the Fun Ship 2.0 project, that started like 2 weeks to 4 weeks, depending on the ship's programming. And as the program evolved, then the team started realizing that, okay, this ship requires this extra amount of music. This ship has this more production shows that uses the band or the musicians. And so then they had to recreate the schedule to match the ship's programming needs. So typically, on average, you would see 4 weeks to even up to 8 weeks for an inaugural, sometimes even more. Like the Mardi Gras, which is coming here, which I'm not even with the company now, but I know that they're starting rehearsals in October, and that ship's not been coming out for 6 months after that.
Good to know.
You know what I mean?
Thanks, Julian. Appreciate that.
Don't worry, it's
Now I
only
know.
one person watching.
It's probably David Brady.
David Brady.
David Brady. He's ready to blacklist me.
He's gonna talk to you after this, bro.
So all right, so I want to throw, because what a lot of people don't realize is the talent in this room, right, in the Zoom right now is amazing, just from all the instruments everybody here can play. But I'm gonna throw it to my guy from the country duo, Buck. If somebody approached you, because I know people have come to you many times off the ship, because they probably wonder, like, how did you get on the ship? What did you need to know? What is something that you would tell somebody in your situation, that's doing these different traveling events, working different bars, and then bam, this is sprung on you. What would be something that you would suggest that can probably help them, along on the process to getting where you are? Because you have some major gigs. Your name came up a few times on some calls on some opportunities that you had on some of the bigger ships.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but like I would tell most people, be flexible. Prepare to be stretched, be flexible, and be patient when it comes to the ship work. Because I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. Can you see that?
Yep.
Oh, barely. Oh, man.
There I am over there in the tuxedo on the corner over there.
Oh,
oh man.
I've done everything from corporate work to rock bands to everything. So I've played in every style of possible. And to be honest with you, I didn't ever own an acoustic guitar until 3 years ago when I started the cruise job.
Oh,
wow.
I've always played a lead electric guitar in every band I've been in. I've played funk, I've played rock, I've played dance, R&B, you name it. Very little country, to be honest with you. But I started seeing where there was a need for it and there's a market for it. And so I started, I stick with the older classic rock, the oldies that everybody will know, and then the bigger country stuff. And so as a cruise ship musician, you may just like, that picture right there will show you. 1 minute you'll be in a tuxedo in downtown Atlanta, playing a corporate gig, playing, a bunch of Parliament funk and, the Commodores and some Rufus songs. And the next thing you're going to be, portraying a hillbilly on a cruise ship in a country band. Which the hillbilly part's true with me. It's, I think you called me a bumpkin first day on the ship.
Country bumpkin.
It's actually, I'm actually a hillbilly. So, and
you're like the most sophisticated hillbilly I know, bro.
Possible. Exactly. You got a pretty mouth, all of you.
Oh.
Okay.
Man.
How many
they actually
filmed
film that where I live. That's the truth.
Oh man.
Y'all just keep pulling instruments.
But yeah, I'd say flexibility and patience and just be able to go with the flow on the ship. I mean, more than mastering everybody has said you got to master your instrument, be good at it, be proficient, know lots of songs, know lots of genres, but be flexible, because we've done, even this past time, my last contract on the Horizon earlier this year, I don't think they've ever had a duo play on Lido deck before. And I think for the first time ever, we played on Lido deck by the pool on the Horizon this past, I think it was January.
Wow.
We were on there. And so
duos,
sometimes
the soloists and duos hate Lido.
yeah.
It's like the only
good
people
reason.
that like Lido besides the DJ is the steel pan drummer. we like the only people that are like, yeah, it's Lido. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
You say Lido to anybody else, they like, nah.
Yeah. It's a pain.
I think Chad likes Lido because it makes his hair look good.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, it's just, I'm always just fascinated by the talent that come on board the ship. What is one of those things, like when you're on board, you're working, And what is like one of the best feelings, like just working on the ship, Chad, what's one of the memorable moments that you had working on the ship, besides New Year's, because we always have,
right. That's a different story.
Right, exactly. But what was one of those things that, it just makes you like, man, I miss the ships. I want to go back to the ships, because there's some things you can't repeat on land that you get to experience on ships.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, my first ship being on the Ecstasy, we went to Nassau and Freeport. So like Julian said, I mean, it wasn't that great, but still, for a guy landlocked in Ohio, it was, it was a blessing, man. It was incredible because, I mean, to be able to play every day, doing what you love, you get paid well. That's the best. But as far as something that I miss on the ships, I miss being around, probably what Darren said, just the best people every day. Our MD was Christian Cho, and he doesn't have Facebook, he doesn't have Instagram, and so it's really hard to keep in touch with him. But miss that guy a lot.
Yeah, Christian was awesome. Yeah, I was with you guys when Christian was there. Chris, you coming in. So I know Chris' background is in music. Talk to him. He told me about, you got a master's in music, Chris? Then we got a master's in music. So going from, working on land, the college to the ship, what was one of those things that just like, man, this is just wow, because for me, it's still a wow factor to be DJing in front of all those people in the middle of the ocean. We forget, some days we forget we on a ship till we start feeling it do a little movement, and you just kind of go with it. Like, oh, it's a boat. John remember that big movement.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, right.
Tilt-a-whirl. Yeah.
Right. So Chris, what is one of those things that to really stand out?
It didn't really hit me until after I left Carnival, but it wasn't something that I never appreciated, but I always appreciated the travel. Basically, on a cruise ship, when you're working on a cruise ship, you wake up, you go to sleep and wake up in a different country every day. So there are still stories I tell people where they're just, oh, I can't wait to go on my first cruise, or just like, oh yeah, I just went to Jamaica for the first time. I'm like, where at? And like, Ocho Rios. I'm like, oh yeah, well, there's a point where I was in Ocho Rios like 4 times a month.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, like I would go to Ocho Rios on Wednesdays. Yeah, like, and things like that, where just like, oh, Aruba's my dream place. I'm like, oh, it's all right. Like, but you've seen everything about Aruba already, and you don't realize that stuff doesn't hit you until you're always around a bunch of people who have never even, left their town or their state. Yep. I always traveled a lot via plane since I was able to travel to, like, visiting family members and things like that. So getting on a cruise ship wasn't very different to me, but just that wow factor that I'll never forget is the travel and waking up in these places every day that you see just these fantasy commercials about. Then you're sitting there and you're just like, oh, all right, cool.
Dude, right.
Yeah.
Right. I get people like,
here,
oh, yeah,
like,
we trying to plan a trip to Cosmo. Like, oh yeah, man, I've been there.
It's like, bro, everybody knows Chalo. Like,
right.
He's like, oh yeah, hit up my boy Chalo. Like,
right.
Like, you see the same
who's
people
that?
every week.
They're like, yeah, like, hey, New Year's.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
So I had a family vacation that wound up near Cancun for New Year's for 2018 into 2019, and Cozumel's not very far, but it was just one of those things where I was just like, oh, so that's what Cozumel looks like from this side. Cool. I was like, wish I could be at Cozumel right now so I can hit up Chalo. Like,
right.
So look, real quick, we got a question. And so if anybody else watching, we got maybe about 20 more minutes on the call. Julian got to dip out here in a few minutes. So thanks, Julian, for joining. He got a live stream tonight on Twitch. Julian, what's your Twitch channel? What's your Twitch station?
It's twitch.tv I'm gonna have to host it on one of my other ones. I'll throw it in the chat real quick when I figure out which one it's gonna be. But I have to. It's on somebody else's channel. I gotta like rehost it, so I'll figure it out and I'll let you know.
Got you,
Julian. Before you go,
yeah.
I just wanted to say before you hopped on, I was telling about where I was before I started Carnival, and I was at Cedar Point. If you remember coming there, yeah, yep. I think I was the first guy you auditioned that day, and then I said I was bugging you once a month, email here and there, and then you said, "Yep, we got something that came open. It's in 5 days. Can you head to rehearsal then?" And I was like, "Great." So I just wanted to retell that and just say thank you, man, because great opportunity. It's set me off. You know, I'm doing well now.
I'm so happy to hear that. Like, honestly, like one thing to take this, I think, away from it is just like, I mean, well, there's a lot away from it. And like for me personally, just having experiences on board, but like white company and everything, I just did a couple numbers and everything, and I hired people in those almost 3 years. And it's been just really awesome to see everybody and how they've developed and where they are now. Like, played matchmaker a couple times here and there, and like it's just been so rewarding, honestly. Like, I know I'm not with the company anymore, but like I'm so happy to see everybody doing what they're doing. Just like, you know, showing a positive example in how music can change the world.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Hey man, thanks for joining us tonight. You know, go ahead and do your live stream. We're gonna keep this going. So if anybody's watching on Facebook or Twitch, you know, drop something in there. We got Ryan who's been watching on Twitch. He said, "What's up, Julian?" Holly from the Holly was on the Magic. You know, Chris, remember Holly?
Everybody knows Holly.
Oh yeah.
So,
Ron doesn't know Holly.
So I'm trying to get the text on. I'm trying to get the text on a call because it's always nice to hear from the text, right? The thoughtless heroes on board the ship, keeping us all sound.
Yes, the unsung heroes.
Yeah, right. So the
Holly, DJ Kitty.
What's everyone's favorite song and least favorite song to get requested on board?
Free Bird. This one off. Put that out there. Free Bird.
I can kick this one off.
All right, Chris, what you got?
Eye of the Tiger. I absolutely hate it when someone screams that out. I hate it. And you want it, and I'll tell you why I hate it. Because I was never a part of a band that played all of the rhythms correctly.
Yeah.
What?
Someone would always step in the hole of the second group of rhythms. The
boom, boom, bam, bam. Oh, no.
Someone would always step in that hole.
Chris, he wasn't on my team, bro.
It literally made me drink every time. Like, I was just like, how are you? Like, I was sitting there like, how are you getting paid for this? Like right now. Julian and I, you know exactly who stepped in that hole every time in that band.
Oh, I am a very
yeah. He was my roommate too.
We gonna look. You probably watching. Somebody just shared the video with him already.
Oh man.
Oh, there's videos.
Don't drop dime on him. Don't drop dime on him.
Don't drop the dime.
I'm out here dry snitching. But I digress. And some of my favorite stuff to play was always Motown and disco night.
Yes,
like anything that made me work. So like all the Earth, Wind and Fire stuff, all of the Al Jarreau stuff, like all the stuff that just had like crazy horn parts in it, because it was just like, cool, I gotta work tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, brother. See you later, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for joining, bro. All right, so I'm gonna throw it up to John, because John was probably one of the most creative soloists I've worked with on the ship.
Agreed.
He had I remember he was trying to get something laminated and printed and trying to get all these different things going. But he had a list of songs with the if you want this song, this is what you got to do to get it.
Remember that.
So John, explain the sheet that I'm talking about, because I know you know what I'm talking about, and give me your favorite and least favorite song.
Well, I had the notorious Forbidden Five at the top of the list.
Yeah.
So the Forbidden Five, but I didn't mind playing the Forbidden Five. I like playing the Forbidden Five, but I just made a joke out of it. Made a big production out of it just to get people involved. Right. The only thing I hated playing was the song I just played 10 minutes before. When somebody requests something I just played 5 minutes ago. But other than that, I love playing, you know, Sweet Caroline, Don't Stop Believing, Sweet Home Alabama. I love playing them all. But I might make a little fuss like, okay, that's on the Forbidden Five. But for you, I'll play it.
For you, I'll play it.
Yeah.
What? Hold on, we got Ryan. Ryan's in there. He said Tennessee Whiskey and Wagon Wheel.
Oh.
I'm so glad there was never a band version of either of those.
Have anybody ever played Tennessee Whiskey or Wagon Wheel in the group?
Yeah, I did.
You played it?
Yeah, there were never horn parts for that.
Thing is,
I love
what we did. No, but what we did on my last contract on the Dream, our singer, our female singer, her name is Lizzie Gogolowski. She's no longer. She only did a one and done contract. Amazing singer. She young singer from Colorado, and we decided to do a medley, I guess, if you will. But we put Tennessee Whiskey and we put this Etta James song in there. Forget the name of the song, but something blind. I don't. My mind's drawing the blank, but it feels so well with the song. Folks know what I'm talking about. But it feels so well with the song that we did it, and she absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. And that made the song interesting. You know, that's part of the thing is about going, you know, doing stuff like this and having the rehearsals, which the beauty of rehearsals is we get to take these songs and be creative with it. That way we don't have to do the same stuff all over and over again, because we're repeating this stuff every cruise. So
what was one of the songs that people come up to the band, you know, because, you know, it's different when you got, that's why I love having this group on, because we got a duo. Look at John. What's stuff next to you, John? Instruments tip.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this though, it depended on where we were. Like it depended on where we were, because if we were doing like a country set, folks would ask for a lot of definitely Sweet Caroline. Somebody asked for these old country songs that we had no idea what they were. It depended on where we were, really.
What do you mean, far as the ship position or the night?
Yeah, demographics wise, really, like it depended on like where we were. If we was on a ship that was pretty heavy country, there was a lot of certain songs that folks would request highly of. That's my experience. You know, other than that, we tried to play all the hits as much as we could. You know,
what was the one song that the band absolutely was like, no, like y'all just like, you know, you never say no, but you like,
Walking on Sunshine.
We heard that every week.
folks wanted. Yeah, it was just that was a song we would just. It was a first, like, for one of my contracts. It was one of our first songs. It was one of our starters, just to get it out the way. Then we can go on to the other stuff. You know.
Roger said. Rogers was on the first one we did with the musicians. He said Freebird.
Yeah, free. Yeah, no. What you're gonna do is if we play Freebird, you're paying all of us $200 a piece. You're paying us $200 a piece, man.
Oh my goodness. So we're gonna go over to our duo. So with Buck, what was your favorite song to play and your least favorite? This is actually from Brandon, who I think Brandon won the Vista with you, or Horizon. I mean the Horizon. He might have been on with you. Brandon, one of the guys on Facebook, he was on a Horizon.
Yeah, Brandon came on the Horizon.
Yeah. Yep.
I've still got a picture of us on stage with us and him and his baby at the time.
Yep.
Is looking up at me in the picture like, look at this funny looking bald guy. It's funny, but I'd say my most hated song in the world that I cannot stand to play, and I usually won't play it. I'll find a way out of it. Is Margaritaville.
Ah.
How you feel about that, John? How you feel about Margaritaville?
I love it. It pays the bills.
Absolutely hate
Simple.
it, and I love to play. Neither one of these are really country, to be honest with you, but in the duo we do some classic rock and stuff too. I love to play Long Train Running by the Doobie Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Love that one, and we love to play Faithfully by Journey.
Ooh, nice. Power ballad.
As far as a country song, it was sort of a folk rock / country song. I really enjoy Country Roads by John Denver.
Yeah.
But we play it at a little different, slower pace. It's not quite the same he did it, but when we play it, what's so cool about it is people from all over the world. There are staff members and bar staff in the Horizon. When we would play it in the Pig and Anchor, the bar staff from Croatia and Serbia know that song, and they're singing along the chorus.
Right.
Everybody knows Country Roads. And it gave us a little a segue to be able to tell a little story about this is about where we live. This is our home place in the Blue Ridge Mountains. It kind of gives a good opportunity. So I always enjoy playing that one.
So we're gonna jump ahead real quick. We got a little time. I want to keep you guys out all night. Memorable moment. We're gonna do a lightning round. 60 seconds. Most memorable moment on the ship.
Oh boy.
Oh, bro,
put his hand up.
Bro, I wish Julian was here, but I still have the video evidence. This lady was so drunk, she started dancing, and she got twirled and fell. But the way she fell like a stiff doll, but hit her back and just slid across the dance floor.
I think I've seen that video.
I still have it. If you want me to send it to you.
Club that night.
And she slid on her back just across the dance floor, and the band was still playing, but the band continued still awkwardly playing for the next for what seemed like the next 10 minutes while they were checking on this lady to make sure she didn't have a heart attack and pass on.
Oh my God.
And so it's just funk playing in the background where everybody's just surrounding this lady. And I was just I'm so glad I still have that video, because it's just she turned out to be all right. She was just really, really drunk, but because afterwards I never felt bad for laughing about it, but I still laugh about that today.
Oh, hold on. We had somebody special join in. Big shout to Jay Mills. Happy birthday.
Hey, Jay Mills, happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, he was on the call here about 4 weeks ago with our first group musician. So happy birthday.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for tuning in, Jay Mills. All right, so we're gonna jump around. All right, who wanted most memorable moment on the ship? Look, everybody thinking.
No, I don't even know if I want to talk about my experience, man. I don't know if I should.
Do it.
Bro, we all have dark experiences. It's quite all right.
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna take this.
Not off the clock.
As a musician.
As a musician, yeah. No, I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, so we this is way after you left, A-roc. All right, this is way after you left. Right, we had to do a charter cruise, not just any
was
charter
that the naked cruise.
I left
new cruise.
I left the week before.
Good. You didn't miss much. You missed a lot. All right. It was deep, man. It was deep. It was the 9-day Journeys nude cruise. I've never done it before, ever. I had to manage that ship. I had to manage that particular cruise. It was wild. And there was one night. I guess it was the most naked night. I don't know, but just everyone.
It's how is naked not 100%, but then all of a sudden you can go 100% naked,
because some people were clothed. To this particular day, I guess everybody was just we gonna take everything off,
draws gone,
and just straight up, man. And folks are just dancing to 80s music, and my eyes still. It was wild, man. It was wild. That was, if somebody asked me what's the most craziest thing you've ever seen, that's the most craziest thing I've ever seen. just nothing but old people, just nude.
A new
You know.
cruise. There you go.
Yeah. I went through that whole thing, and
Yeah. I remember prepping all the paperwork for you for that, because we had meetings on top of meetings about that cruise. And I was like, let me take some notes for this for Ron.
Oh man. Yeah, we had to do a training. We had to do training like I think a couple of days before the actual cruise about what to do, what not to do, what to look at, what not to look at, just don't take pictures with them and like that. It was it was a lot of I took not one selfie with anybody, but I do remember one night I was at the pizza place, and this guy, he was like totally nude, just absolutely nothing, no, not even freaking sandals. Okay, he just like, he looked at
He's in shock.
He's in shock.
He just remembered he was just trying to get his late night margarita pizza.
Oh, man.
And all he saw was sausage.
Oh.
Why did you take it there? All right, we gonna see if Ron. I think we lost Darren too. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's raining or what, but internet connection.
One touch your hand, like I did one of these little things. All right, good to meet you. Went straight to the hand sanitizer, went straight to the bathroom, washed my hands thoroughly, at least 40 seconds.
Oh, no.
Who knows where that hand has been? Who knows where that hand has been? I don't know where it's been.
So we're all just gonna fill in the blank, right?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
Look, Ron, we lost you. We want to know what happened with this hand.
What did the dude say?
The pizza.
Oh no, y'all missed all of that?
So you
froze the pizza.
We all want to know. You say you was up there getting pizza. What happened after?
Yeah, I was up there getting pizza, and he was talking to me. He introduced himself. He said, "Hey, my name is such and such. Good to meet you." And he took out his hand like that. And I didn't want to shake his hand, but I didn't want to be rude either. So I just did the little like one tip of the finger. Good to meet you. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I didn't want to touch this man. I did not want to touch this man.
For people watching, this is 2 years before COVID. This is what, 2018, 2019. When was it's probably 2 years.
The last ever naked cruise. Yeah.
Yeah. It was terrible, man. It was terrible, but hilarious at the same time, because like the stuff, these guys, it's a community. It's a big community.
Right.
It's a bigger community than we actually know, man. And these guys just go all out, and not many young people.
Right, because the ship was theirs. All right, So John, most memorable moment like on board besides the sunshine incident.
The second week of my Carnival sunshine contract, we were all over the news. I survived the tilt.
Oh yes,
the ship listed about 12 degrees.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. It's enough to make the drum set slide off the stage while the man is playing it.
And Jay Mills,
not the drum set.
Yeah,
was Jay Mills playing
there? Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I was the music manager on board at the time, so just imagine what that was like. Yeah, yeah.
A-roc, you were busy.
Man, it was a very memorable experience, because it's still on my top one most memorable experience. the tilt, yeah. But yeah, that was one of those things, man.
And the ship rocked for about a week after that.
Wow.
I didn't sleep for about a week.
Yeah, we were delayed. Like we was still on land, still rehearsing. We were just like, what is going on?
I think I messaged you. Just take your time.
Yeah.
The DJ is freaking out right now. I'm running around. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was and it was so random when it happened, but we made the best of it. You know, it happened on the first night, like 3 hours out of port. But, you know, by day 2 or 3, the entertainment staff, I mean, we picked it up 200%. I mean, people had no problem at the end of the cruise. You know what I'm saying? It was like it never happened till we got back to port, and every news camera is sitting outside the ship waiting for people to get off the ship. Yep, and we started this again. But I will tell you, that was the quietest safety briefing the following cruise. Not a single peep. People know we all work safety briefings, and everybody talking, everybody on their phone, people still drinking, saying don't drink. Right. It was the quietest safety briefing ever. Like,
wow.
Like, so what about last cruise? All right, ladies and gentlemen, please line up against the wall.
We ain't messing around this time, bro. We are not messing around this time.
We're definitely not talking about that. So, all right. Did we lose Buck again? He's in. There we go. We doing a round robin, and I think we lost him. I don't know where he went. His Wi-Fi is freezing up. I don't know what's up with everybody's Wi-Fi.
I dropped off for a minute. I'm back.
There we go. You up in those mountains, man. You started talking about the mountains and lost the internet. So look, I'm gonna start bringing this to a close. You know, You know, while Darren get his internet going, but you know, tell everybody watching, because the reason why I'm doing this, because at one point we all searched online on how to get a job on a cruise ship, what it's like to work on a ship, what you need to know to work on a ship, what's some of the things you need to bring to an interview. The past 10 episodes, so much knowledge that people can find, because you got to think, people, you can't just call somebody about working on a cruise ship. So many people work on the land, but how many people say they worked at Cedar Point as an artist, or worked in this place in New York, or did this? But then how many people can say, yeah, so I worked on a cruise ship the past 6 months and I can play 500 songs, right? You don't get that. Right. So, everybody has their own experience from working with bands, from doing trios, from doing solos, from doing duos. What would be something that you would tell somebody, like, leading off, like, hey, you know what, man, if you ever want to do this job, this is what you should have. Like, what's some words of wisdom, for somebody who wanted to be a soloist? John, somebody want to be you. We good over it, but what is one of those things that you definitely can say, you know what, this is why I love this job, this is why I did it, and this way you should look into it?
You got to know a lot of songs and a lot of styles and keep making videos, good videos. You need a lot of experience first. You have to be a certain caliber of musician to get hired. But once you get hired on the ship, you're going to get better anyways by, me collaborating with the nightclub band and the other artists. You're still going to get better when you're on board. It boosts you up a notch, because immediately you're playing 4 or 5 hours a night and you got to know 100 songs and keep up with every request. It makes you a better player getting this gig, I think.
Right. So I'm going to throw it there, because that's pretty much what everybody's at. What have you benefited from being on the ship? A few people's no longer with the company. A few people still with the company. What was one of the biggest perks you got off the ship? Like playing, interviewing for jobs, applying for gigs, what was one of the things that really helped you out, like, from the ship? Dad, because I think you did the ship, then you went back to Cedar Point, right?
Yeah, that's right. I juggled here and there, and I've seen some people do that, and I tried it, and thankfully it worked. Two things. On my last ship, I had a pretty tough MD, but through
a certain man who we won't name.
but I mean, by the end, I was a solid drummer. So I mean, the experience is great on the job, like John said. But also you learn how to be on a team you learn what a great team is. If you find one, you know that's the bar, and you know how to be a part of a great team. You gotta keep a good attitude, and if you don't, you gotta know how to make amends. You gotta try to get in a good headspace. So it helps with your attitude, it helps with your experience, and it helps you connect and meet with people and learn how to be a working musician. So I'm very thankful for Carnival.
So what is everybody doing right now? No ships, entertainment's at a pause. What's Darren, what are you up to right now? I think we lost him down in the corner. Darren, you there? Look, that's like his
That's his
pose
pose right there. Yeah.
He like froze with that.
Oh, there you
Darren,
are, Buck.
I'm here.
So we're going like, what is everybody doing right now? So we thought the Buck before his camera died again. What are you up to? The ship's been paused for 5 months. What are you up to right now?
Honestly, I've been doing a lot of the same thing that I've always done. One advantage that I've had that a lot of guys and ladies don't do that are musicians on ships are I try to stick to doing ships in the winter, like October through about May.
Right.
Because to be honest with you, it sucks in the mountains in the winter. It's great all the rest of the time, but it sucks in the winter.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I try to do ships in the winter, and while I'm on the ship in the winter, I do all my booking and my
Oh, we done lost him again.
We done lost him. Up in those mountains, man. Up in the mountains.
restaurants, the marinas. And to be honest, when the shutdown happened for us, it worried me, but I was really only down completely for about a month because I was supposed to have been getting off of my last ship within a month anyway. And so since 1st of May, I've been playing regular gigs. I do 3 or 4 gigs a week, which is getting me by. In addition to some of the, federal help that's come out for gig workers and stuff that happened this year because of the pandemic, I was able to take advantage of that. So between that and the gigs, I'm still just doing gigs, and occasionally I'll do random odd and end things, doing some manual labor, which my tender musician hands remind me quickly I'm a musician. And I haven't done a lot of manual labor in a long time. But right now, just doing whatever I need to do.
All right. So Chris, you joined in because you was on a previous call. So what are you doing?
And it sounds like I'm gonna have to run up to Gatlinburg soon and check out.
Yes.
Chad.
Yes. I'm coming to you too.
Awesome again. There we go. He's back.
Yeah.
He's there. All right, we're gonna throw it to Chris real quick. We got like 10 more minutes on it. Chris, so what are you doing right now, and how long have you been? Are you completely done with the ships, working full-time on land, or waiting for that random phone call? Hit your mic. Unmute. There we go.
Yeah, sorry, just company habits. Like always have my mic on mute. I haven't been on a ship since summer of 2017. And since then, I've been just writing and recording my own music, just shedding on my horn, doing that. And I took the time to get certified to be a yoga teacher. So 200-hour training. That took about half a year to do. For people that are interested. There's intensive programs that take like a month, but the average time to become a yoga teacher fully trained is about half a year. So I did that in 2018. Then started teaching yoga here and there. Then I got a job about getting close to a year ago with Music and Arts Corporate. So I'm an educational representative out in kind of like the southwestern side of the perimeter of Georgia, outside of that area. And that's basically the day job that's been getting me by. while I'm still dealing with my music and just, you know, taking the next steps to keep on building what I got to build music wise.
Now, did the ship help with that job at all? Do you think it helped you get that position?
Yeah.
Resume?
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff dealing with cruise ships, it doesn't hurt. I mean, the only way it hurts is if, you know, you got to explain why you got fired or something like that. But, you know,
get fired.
Yeah, like, but working on a cruise ship is such a unique job that I mean, at worst, it's a conversation starter during an interview. Yeah. Because there's so many different things about cruise ships that not a lot of people think about until after you're on cruise ships. Like as a musician, you have to be very, very stringent about what your personal time is, because you can easily slip into bad habits on cruise ships if you're not careful and if you're not very diligent with your time as a musician, because we do get a lot of off time, more than most. And so if you get into the habit of just ending the set, going to the crew bar, ending the set, going to the crew bar, all of a sudden 6 months later, you've kind of stumbled into alcoholism. And I hate to get dark like that, but it's just, that's a real thing.
It's the truth though.
That's a real thing. And yeah, time management is one of the best skills you'll develop on ships as a musician. Yeah. Because if you do not manage your time, you will not have an enjoyable contract.
For sure.
It'll get bad real quick. And the stuff you struggle at as a musician, like for me as a horn player, I struggle with certain things that I just had to deal with every night. And it just inevitably got better.
So John, what are you up to? Because John had his hands in everything before the ship, during the ship, after the ship. Still, man's pulling out 5 different instruments, doing the call, a tip jar. John, what are you up to right now? And, you know, definitely plug everything that you're doing, especially all your music.
All right. Well, I'm recording 5 albums in different styles. Trop rock.
At the
same time. It's easier to just record all the drums at once for all these albums, all the bass at once, like an assembly line. So I've got trop rock, old Christian, new Christian, Americana, and then like a jazz one. So I'm doing that in the studio, but I'm also a worship leader at church. I'm on tenure at the theme park, Busch Gardens theme park.
Which Busch Gardens?
Open?
Williamsburg, Virginia. They're open to minimal attendance right now because of the governor, but if they can get capacity opened further, I might be back for Christmas. I threw my name in the hat for a world tour. I don't know if I have it, but I'd love to get out, do another tour. I'd love to come back to the cruise ships, this time as a fly-on or as a sub. I don't want to do another 4-month contract, but I'd love to do 2 or 3 weeks.
So has working on a ship helped you with any of these opportunities that you're doing right now? Has it opened any doors up for you?
I think it's helped me with the credibility. Because if you've done one cruise ship contract, we can trust your musicianship. We can trust your professionalism. You know, it just says a lot for a person.
Nice. Well, you know, I hear that a lot too. A lot of people say that, you know, because like I said, you know, we working, you know, musicians working 6 nights a week and the DJs working 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
So, but the DJs aren't real musicians as we get called on the ship. We're just button pushers.
Nope.
Nope. So, you know, where Ron off to?
I'm here.
I saw him tying his shoes.
There we go. Go.
Yeah.
So Ron, what are you up to right now?
I just quit Walmart.
What?
I just quit Walmart.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. Doing that.
Yeah.
As soon as I got here in Louisiana, I picked up a job at Walmart and I just quit it last week. So I'm in between jobs right now, but I've been doing some collabs. I put myself out there to do some collabs. So if anybody wanted to do collab with me, let me know. So I've done about
do.
say about 4 collaborations already. It's been all right. And I'm getting my hands in on audio engineering because I want to do that. I've been, you do that a lot when you're a music manager. You have to make sure that the stuff on the set is right, and so I figured, well, I can get my hand on that. So I've been learning how to do the audio engineering thing. I've been playing, here and doing a lot of walks and just chilling out, enjoying my off time, and
So is entertainment open where you are right now?
Nah, man. Nah, not at all, man. You go
Right, okay.
And it's wild because you're in New Orleans and there's no music. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, huge bummer, man. Huge bummer.
So it's like three are so Chris, Chad, and Darren you're all in Georgia. And then John, where you at? You were in the Carolinas?
Virginia and North Carolina.
Okay.
We're lucky to get 1 or 2 gigs a week,
All right. And then Ron's in the party capital with no party. And I'm in Ohio.
Yeah. There's nothing going.
I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Gatlinburg.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. But that's
Yeah.
you're right. What? How far are you from Georgia? Like,
Well, from Darren, what he said, it's like 2.5 hours. I think I'm 3 hours from Atlanta.
okay.
But here it's pretty good. The governor, I think it's Bill Lee. He's got everything open. It just goes county by county. Like Knoxville's open, Sevier County's open. But I moved down here to start at Dollywood.
Nice.
Yeah. I started last Christmas. It was great. Going to do this full year, and then COVID. So I'm hoping for Christmas as well as John is with Busch Gardens. But doing the bar scene, 3-4 gigs a week. Hopefully, it usually pans out that way. But I mean, that's helping you stay afloat, thankfully.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that this is why I really love doing is because, a lot of people don't see how much entertainment is affected by the shutdown. But, people don't really miss anything till it's gone. And I get people like,
True.
man, I can't wait till we can go back to the bar and dance. Ohio just put I don't know, ordinance or law, whatever you want to call it. But last call is at 10 o'clock now for the entire state.
Here too. Yeah.
10 o'clock for the entire state. So, no bars are looking for DJs right now. I mean, if you can get into a bar and DJ, more power to you. I ran into the issue of weddings, and it was like, yeah, you can have 300 people, but no dancing. And that's still my favorite. Right? It's like, oh, so now people got to look at, do we keep a DJ because we can't have dancing? What are we going to do? So, but it's nice to hear from people all over the country, about what's going on with the entertainment. So look, we're gonna wrap up. Anybody on Facebook or Twitch got any, last minute questions that you want to ask these wonderful talent musicians on the chat right now? But everybody, do anybody got any last words you want to give something out, some shout outs, some what's up, some social media, how to follow you, where to buy your CD?
Thank you, A-roc.
Huh?
This was a really good meeting right here. Really appreciate that. I'd like to do it again.
Well, man,
Great idea.
Yeah, it's cool, to have this chat, and share our experience. And plus, most of us ain't seen each other for at least 5 to 6 months, so
This is true.
Right. So, anybody want to give a shout out? Anybody got some information if they want to get a hold of you, if they looking for a trumpet player, a drummer, a soloist,
For me, you can follow me on Instagram, Ron Smith Drums, at Ron Smith Drums. You can look for my Facebook, Ron Smith. I'm on Twitter too, but I don't really do Twitter.
Yeah, I don't do Twitter that much.
But yeah, I'm open to collabs. As you can see, like I said, I got my drum set here. So if anybody want to do collabs, hit me up. I'm your man. And I actually got to bounce right now. I got to go.
All right. Thanks, Ron. All right, appreciate it.
No problem. Yo, good to see
buddy.
all of you, man.
See you, Ron.
All right, holla.
All right, holla. Anybody else want to get some shout outs? Darren, Chad, Chris, how people get a hold of you? Because everybody's working. So, Chad, are you at Dollywood right now? Is it shut down?
No, it's not shut down. Everything's completely open. Not even there's no cap on capacity. They're kind of just following what Disney's doing, but I would be there full time. However, they're not doing indoor shows, so that's what I would have been doing. But I'm with a band. This is actually shameless self promotion. It's Brad Hudson Band. I play with him half the time and try to freelance the other half. But you can find Brad Hudson Music. You can find me Instagram. It's drummond.man.bun. That's right. That's right.
Best hair on the ship right there. Best hair.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Anybody else got any plugs before we wrap up? John, how can they get a hold of you? How can they vote for all your stuff you got going on Facebook?
I need to hit up you Georgia boys too, or Chad. I go to the Dollywood area a couple times a year and visit family. So
hit me up.
Yeah. I'm at johnbaldwinmusic.com. I'm available for recording a bunch of instruments, guitar, bass, steel pan, songwriting, and private party gigs, weddings, all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Fill-in musician, I'm your dude. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Chris?
Yeah, Stanley. Yeah, Stanley Sounds on Instagram. Just hit me up. I mean, I'm on Twitter, but it's for the mess. I'm just there for entertainment. So yeah, Stanley Sounds on Instagram. Yeah, like A-roc said, I play trumpet, and I've been playing trumpet for 20 plus years at this point. So anything that's put in front of me, I can do.
All right. There we go. All right, Darren, you there? Did we lose him up in the mountains? All right. Well, look.
He's sleeping.
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
He's sleeping.
I'm here.
All right. You want to give me last?
I'm not sleeping yet.
Shout outs, or if people want to book you or anything, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you could just Google the duo name is Buck and Oz, and you can always find us on Facebook or Twitter. You can drop a message. You can get me personally that way. If you're looking for a duo for a wedding or a restaurant or anything that you've got like that, or if you just need a lead guitarist for a band or a project or anything like that, I can do that, and I'm ready to travel and do whatever. But other than that, just want to say thanks to you for putting this together.
Yeah, man.
And I knew everybody on here except for 2 people, I believe. I've worked and had contracts with everybody here, and all you guys are my brothers, and just stick with it.
All right. Well, I'm about to hit the stop on the live stream. Stay on the chat for a couple minutes, but John tips. Once again, thank you all for being here. Thank you everybody that tuned in tonight. You can see the replay on twitch.tv/DJ A-roc or Facebook or YouTube at A-roc Entertainment. So